Recording in progress.
All right. Let's go.
Game. I put her front row to Nick game. Now she in my phone with a nickname. It's grippy. Yeah. Grippy. I call her that cause it's grippy. She thinking the hip, she a hippie. And she thinking the lip, she gon' lick me. And she sending a flip when she hit me. With a kissing emoji, she missed me. When she see me, she said she gon' strip me. She gon' chew on this stick like it's Wrigley's.
She gon' chew it like it's Wrigley's,
like
bruh.
She said she was gay until I slayed. Now she strictly diggly. As soon as she pays, I'm on the way. And I be showing her quickly. On the highway, I'm doing 150. Like, I gotta get
Kendrick
you
broke J. Cole up.
Pussy so good, I just had an epiphany. It's grippy and wet, you know I'm a vet, but you making me feel like a rookie. How you made me tap out so swiftly, but I'm back for the second round victory. I remember I saw you on 5th Ave with your homies Sabrina and Tiffany. I was thinking like, damn, your whole click bad, but I wanted your body specifically. Like, I'm trying to see how that glove gon' fit me. Like, I wanna feel like I'm touching your kidneys. Like, I'ma send all your kids to Disney. I'ma pay a little extra, make sure they meet Mickey. She a what? She a what? She a grippy.
Hey,
she a grippy.
Hey, hold back.
I wanna kill it like recipes. You know that pussy like it was a recipe. Like Shanti, I wanna make you a mommy.
Beautiful stuff.
No, let's not because
sorry.
It was a weekend. It was a weekend for the big three. You know, 2 of the big three released on the same day. Let's hear some of their hits. Listen to this, Dan. Listen to this melody. Listen.
Yeah, Beautiful stuff.
You my everything.
Nigga, we go together till we go together. 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 He protect me, let them pistols bang. If you fuck with me, go tattoo my name. I like to spoil him, and he nigga, we go together.
Let me skip ahead to her zone here.
Give me the pussy, I'm bullying shit. Hit from the back and I'm pulling your shit. I had some smoke in the city, I wanted to see it, but baby, I couldn't just dip. You know the time when we on, my niggas start lurking and tying their hoodies and shit. Soon as this shit get resolved, I turn the librarian for you, I'm booking that shit. Let's do it. Regular, I love you, let's do it. Showed enough love to the city, I promise, so let's get the out St. Louis. Maybe we go to St. Lucia. I've been there, so I'll introduce you. Or maybe you go to St. Martin with me if these niggas take break and quit starting with me. Maybe we go to St. Kitts. If you and your BD are calling splits, then maybe we call it an accident. You slip, you trip, you follow my why you love me still a mystery. Me and the surgeon got history. I changed a lot of girls' lives for real.
Here comes.
They hitting me. Hey, BBL Drizzy, they want a new body, they asked me for it. The last one, John, he did it for free, cause I sent over so many past ones for him, but red. Don't even worry about all of that shit. Just keep it natural for him, I swear. I got a passion for you, I swear. I got attraction for you, I swear. Yeah. You think I'm a bachelor girl, but I swear you ain't get your masters, but I still breaking your back in the master bedroom, I swear. You sent a pic in them shorts and I had to sing your caption like I was there. You the hood, my dream, sexy girl, you just asked for me and I'm near.
You my everything. Alright, enough of that nonsense. I just want to say, don't you
That's
ever,
the worst thing I've ever heard.
don't you ever not call that man the boogeyman. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show nigga. Came out and broke, but I love J. Cole, but goddamn, that was a shout out to one of the worst J. Cole verses I've heard in a very long time. It was bad.
Have we confirmed it's not AI?
Zanzi, you ain't the shit. You're not even a fight. Yeah, no, it's confirmed. It's confirmed.
No. Look, you know what? I'll wait for him to come out and say, I'm definitely the person who sang that, who rapped that. So, I saw some people saying that it was.
So some people what?
I heard some people saying that no, that Drake was actually real smart because he flipped it. You know what I'm saying? He flipped BBL Drizzy into meaning that he pays for women's BBLs.
That's literally what you're accused of. You're like, oh my gosh. Like, did you guys not hear? Also, people on the internet suggested that 2.5 weeks ago, Drake. You're late.
right, Philip. There's a lot to talk about today. All right. So let's get into it. I'm gonna start off by introducing the podcast. Let's go.
Jump up in the club, everybody gather round.
Hey.
Two broke Twimbos in the town. Listen close to the sound. Now me that guy and feel charged. Baby, bringing the fun. The podcast vibes will not stop till the morning sun. Every episode got me laughing, can't control my smile. Talking about the latest news with the unique style. From Zimbabwe to the world, they spreading good vibes, keeping it real and entertaining. They're on the rise, two broke Twimbos, bring the heat to the floor. Everybody get guy and feel charged in control. To the podcast flow. Oh yeah. Woo! We gon' keep grooving to the podcast flow. Oh yeah.
Yo! Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. You know what? We here. Since we said we're no longer doing oh wait, let me turn this down. Since we're no longer doing the whole complaining thing, Philip, I think we must just get straight into positivity and happiness. We're gonna up the energy of the podcast. I have to ask you, Phil, are you
Good to go. Sound of the thing them.
Hear me now.
Get mad.
Let's go! Yeah, right. Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. It's your boy Danny, that guy, aka Danos the Mad Titan, aka Denford Wegumaraini, aka Denny Be My Life Your Entertainment, aka I'm done with these streets. Hey, shout out to a queen who holds on to a grudge and then make sure she breaks up with her man on live TV. AKA Akuna Mumwendi Danmo.
That's right.
More
He's
details to
the
follow.
unmistakable, the irrefutable, the unquestionable, the undebatable, that you will not catch me getting comfortable again. Phil Chada, get from the floors to big boss, baby. Get sexy to local. Get filthy Phil. Get Phil on Musk. DJ Mukarat. And of course, good day, sir. Please may you buy me a beverage, aka Shaman Tango drink. Hi, Dan. How are you? Are you well? Are you strong? You ready to go? You psyched up?
I'm well. I'm strong. I'm ready to go. There's a couple of things. Let me start off by sharing my life before we get into the podcast. So first of all, my brother got married last weekend. So we were at his wedding. Went well. Happy for you. Congratulations, Dima, and your brand new wife, Vicky. The two of them are out honeymooning at the moment, living their best life. Yeah, Vicky's been added to the family group by my dad. So I guess, that's when you know it's official. Congratulations. Yeah, man, it was dope. My other brother, Michael, he flew in from Australia with his wife for the wedding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's been a very family-filled couple of weeks. Very hectic though. It feels like everything seems to happen at the same time, But anyway, we move. I also just flew in late this afternoon from Vic Falls. I was at the Chamber of Mines annual meeting at the Elephant Hills.
Big mining, Dan. We see you. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, look, if you think there's no money in Zimbabwe, go to a mining conference. Let me just end that there. I want to tell a little bit of just a little side anecdote. So, Phil, are you familiar who the Deputy Minister of Finance is?
No. I've disassociated
Minister of
from all
Finance.
things government recently, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
Deputy Minister of Finance is David Kudakwashe Mnangagwa.
Oh, okay. No idea.
Turns out, I went to high school with him.
Mm.
He was my junior.
Mm.
Just 1 year. He was in a different stream. But I mean, I remember from high school. I mean, he was cool. You know what I mean? Cool dude. I feel like we somewhat got along. Anyway, so when I saw he got appointed, I was like, I know that guy. Anyway, he was one of the guests of honor at this conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up to him I was like, I don't know if he remembers me from high school, man, but I'll just go greet him and say, what's up? So I went past the glare of the bodyguards and he saw me. He's like, Danny, what's up, man? How you doing? How's marriage life? I was like, damn, is there a dossier of me on your desk? Oh, damn. But anyway, I found that very interesting. Then I said to him, I was like, no, shout out to you. We see the moves. And then he says, nah, man, we just trying to be like you, man. Just trying to be like you.
You know what? Sometimes as men, Tino's wanza. You know what I mean? Like, Tino's.
I was like, I really wanted, obviously it was a very brief moment, so I was just like, I know, pleasure meet you, cool, on the left. I mean, I wanted to say, listen, you're kind to say it, dog, but I mean, come on, man.
You know, sometimes dog. It's just one of those like bank statements, like, you know, I can't call, you know what I mean? Just trying to do what I do, you know what I mean? It's like,
you know, we just try. But I found that's the funniest thing that's happened to me in a very long time. Deputy Minister of Finance said, nah, man, just trying to be like you. What?
I would have been like, yo,
man.
Please respect.
Anyway,
me,
I mean, obviously, you know, government is a tricky topic, but I don't know. It felt weird. Maybe it's just that statement because you know that mollifies men. I walked away from there. It's like, oh, what a humble man. You know what I'm saying? That's a humble dude. I mean, obviously, I don't know for real what he's like, but just that statement. And the funny thing is, what was trending on Twitter this week was a discussion about, you know, if you want a man to do anything, just call him Big Dog.
Yo, G.
Call him Big Dog. So a lot of women, they were posting, well, I guess it was on TikTok. I just saw the videos on Twitter. They were posting videos of like, all right, cool. I heard that if you call your boyfriend Big Dog, he'll do anything. So they would record and then boyfriend will come home or she walks into the boyfriend, wherever he is, and just like, hey, Big Dog, what's up? He's like, Big Dog. But you immediately see him like puffing up his chest a little bit, you know, just like, why are you calling me that? Why are you calling me Big Dog? It's like, no, just, hey, Big Dog, so can we do this? Yeah, sure, we can do that. But why are you calling me Big Dog though? And you know, the back gets a little bit straighter. You know what I'm saying? The voice gets slightly deeper. You know, hey man, sometimes we just need positive reinforcement. That's all I'm saying.
Baby,
so
you know, baby,
hey,
I try
for
so
me to
hard,
hear,
baby.
no, I'm just trying to be like you, man. I was like,
he got you, Antika. He got you for like for a second or two. He got you.
A few seconds, like a couple of seconds. You know what I'm saying? I was a little confused. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, for real. Yeah, no, we do our thing. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Built different.
Oh, yeah. We out in these streets, out here grinding. I mean, like Akon, like baby.
Anyway, in my intro, I made reference to someone who broke up with someone on live TV. Okay, look.
She didn't.
Let me get this out of the...
She didn't.
Phil, did you watch the Ultimatum South Africa?
I did. Because of you, I watched it. I watched it and I was like, this is this. Okay, you know what? Wait, before you get to it, let me give you my take because you gave your take. You know what I mean? Now let me give my take.
Phil, what's wrong? I told you not to watch
it. I'm gonna fill in the gaps. Okay, so that was not wrong. It is the trashiest of trash TV, but it's do you know what that show did for me?
Mm-hmm.
That show was the Netflix equivalent of being called Big Dog. You know what I mean? It was Netflix like, yo, I'm just trying to get like you feel. Because I was like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, life is tough, man. You know, I'm trying to figure things out. I'm at that age also now, like you know, like there's been family grinds, there's been deaths in the family, there's been this and that. And now you're called upon to, you know, be the responsible adult. And it's a little taxing. And then, I just needed, you know, just to feel a bit better. I've been a little run down. I tuned into this show. And episode 1, I looked over on the couch and I was like, yeah, I don't want to hear about me leaving the toilet seat up. Because can you see what others are dealing with over here, bruh? Can you see this? Can you see this, bruh?
Actually, I just want to say you're welcome. That's all. Just for me existing. Because you're right. You're right, Phil. You're right. You're right.
Because let's break it down. Let me break it down. We've got this one couple. Now I'm spacing on all their names. Gold Tooth Gym guy with Mrs. Gigglefits.
Yes. let me give you their names.
I think Caesar.
That you're
Caesar.
referring to.
That's Caesar and someone.
Yes.
Yeah. Caesar
Kele and Lindy.
Caesar, actually, gorgeous woman. Dumb as bricks. She's gorgeous, but she is dumb. How did this woman how do you start beefing with the person you're not? So, context. I got to give context. So, Caesar comes in with Jim Gold Tooth guy. I'm not going to remember his name. I don't know. They then get paired with another couple. So, Kanya, the most toxic person on the show.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
She's a B word. Oh, massive B word. She comes in with Ganteko. Ganteko gets paired with Caesar. And he pairs himself with Caesar because they choose Caesar. And then Kanya starts throwing jabs. They're calling her fatty, boom, boom, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
She comes back and she tells Kanya, can you believe your ex was saying this? And Ganteko said, how dare she? You know what? Let's go over to her villa right now and call her out on it. Let's call her out on it. And then they storm over. And you're like, yo, so my man's has finally grown a pair of balls. He's about to call out this nasty ass woman whose wig, her edge is always flapping in the wind like loose flappy skin. Go get him. Go get him, girl. Then the moment they get there, he's like, okay, cool. You guys talk it out. I'm going. Bye. Pew. And now Caesar, being the dumbest that she is, she didn't have a plan outside of, no, I'm going backed up by my man. Quote unquote, man, quote unquote. But keep in mind, this man has been dating this woman. So clearly, what happened is Nkateko has been dealing with Namo. He's been under fire for years. He's like, yo, I can't take on this woman. She's a succubus. She will kill me. She'll slit my throat in my sleep. But then he was like, perfect. I've now found a proxy to take her on, Caesar. But the proxy had zero strategy whatsoever. So my man takes her to a fight, then ditches her at the fight, leaves her at the fight, and Caesar cannot stand up. Kanya is just hitting her with verbal jabs. Shut up. Get up. Who invited you? Go. And she's like, shit, okay, I got nothing. I got no comeback. Okay. You know what? I gotta go.
She's just laughing.
I gotta go.
Shame, man.
I gotta go. And she's like, yeah, get over here, you fatty. Boom, boom, you get out of here, fatty. Yo, that was one wild. Then there's the whole theatrics. The wild thing that, I don't know if you noticed this, Dan, right? So they're there for 6 weeks. So they're at this lodge, but their regular lives are happening. So people are going to work and coming back.
Yeah, I found that wild as well.
But then the wild part is, outside of the white woman, all the women were chilling at cabin the whole time. Did you notice that? It was wild. Anyway, the part that killed me is Aiden, no one wanted that nigga, bruh. No one wanted that brew. That brew was just like, hey, okay, I guess I'm going with Lebo. And Lebo immediately friend zoned him like that. Then he was
like within seconds.
And my man,
but his girl, they wanted his girl though.
Oh, go, man, go. You know how this.
I mean, not for any other reason, but anyway, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also, diversity quotas are amazing. Yo, no one wanted. I've never seen someone so unattractive. Like Aiden was getting zero action. Even that.
But Phil, I have a question for you, right? Mm-hmm. So, the premise at the outset was, if you spend some time with someone else, hopefully it can help you figure out your own relationship. Surely, the idea is not, I'm trying to get with someone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, surely that's not what it should be. And I could already see from the get-go that this is going to be so messy, because what do you mean? Now people are looking for who they're attracted to, who they click with. Wait, aren't you here with your person? Aren't you on the verge of marriage? Like, what are you doing?
No, they're
So
on
to
the
me-
verge. They're on the verge of getting promise rings to get married.
So to me, just the premise, the entire premise of, like, for example, you're saying Aiden was getting no action. No one was supposed to be getting any action. You're supposed to find someone who you can hopefully build your own relationship. And even that just doesn't, I don't know, man. I feel like we need to bring back shame. That's what we need to bring back.
All I'll say is, so I think Dan covered the show pretty well. I just wanted to add a few of my cents. The other thing I wanted to add was, shout out to Isaac. Isaac, master manipulator. I've never seen some, like, he, like the thing that, I don't know if it's obvious to me. I don't know if it's obvious to you.
Mm-hmm.
I could smell his ish a mile away. So, which is why when Ruth,
I think I said it.
which is why Ruth, the moment Ruth knew this guy's been wasting my time for years. I'm here to get my rocks off, get my TV thing going, and leave this nigga. Which is why the moment Nola was like, let's go, Ruth was like, yo, I want it, let's go. Pop, pop, pop.
But do you remember
Not
at
once,
first she was
not twice.
going to pick someone, not thrice.
Well, she said not twice, but then there obviously it was a mistake. It was not thrice. Yes, but not once.
Did you see? She at first was like, "Nah, I'm really attracted to this dude. So since I'm being serious about my relationship, I'm going to choose someone else." And then it was framed that, oh no, because he like dissed her. Basically, she was like, "Oh, for that, I'm going to pick Nola." Anyway, wait. We've already covered this show, and this is not a reality TV show discussion podcast. May it long may it remain not that. I just wanted to address the reunion. So,
the mess of the reunion.
Quick overview. All right. So, if you're not caught up, the whole concept of this show is couples get in. They've issued an ultimatum. They're going to spend some time with other people to hopefully make their relationship stronger. Obviously, at the end of the show, some couples got stronger. Air quotes. I don't think a single couple got stronger. They all got worse, and others completely broke up. At the end of the season, I believe of the 6 couples, 3 broke up and 3 got engaged. So now, a year later, they bring the reunion.
Sorry, before you get to that, I wanted to get to this point. All right. So, Dan highlighted last week. Nola came in with Lebo, ended up being paired with Ruth. They start smashing. Eventually, Ruth is like, let me admit it. She's like, yo, I've slept with this guy not once, not twice, not thrice. I've been pumping this out. Then a whole thing breaks up because Nola's been denying it all this time. So then now Lebo goes to the room and confronts him. Like, yo, my guy, you've been sleeping with this babe. He's like, no, who told you that? He's like, the babe, you idiot. How could you do this to me? So
then what does he do?
He's not trying to play victim. So he's like, oh, well, if that's the case, I'm going to snitch on you because, and then Isaac told me that she was planning my birthday. So, I mean, she cares about me. So then she calls Isaac dude over. Isaac comes over. Isaac pretends to be all shocked and hurt, blah, 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 blah. And he realizes
I'm sure he was hurt.
He realizes he's been jammed on. But then the wild thing is, they have to go to work the next day, bruh. How do you explain this at work? Because you're under an NDA. You can't tell people at work what's going on.
Yeah.
But you have to go to work. That part brought me no end of laughter. Anyway, continue there.
All right, so obviously they bring back all the couples for this reunion. It happens a year. So obviously they filmed this, they edited it, promoted it, released it on Netflix. This whole process probably took over a year, up to a year. And then a year later, they bring back the reunion episode. So now they're bringing all the couples back and they make them sit all together, which was very messy anyway. So we find out in the reunion that Nola and Lebo, who had this very messy public fight because Nola had been sleeping with Ruth and they got back together.
Only for
and they
what?
were trying to make it work. And by the way, okay, guys, Lebo, she definitely had a plan because she came back on fire.
Mm-hmm.
She came back. Like, I remember during the first show, I was like, I don't know, Lebo was not really I didn't really notice her that much. But when she came back, I was like, damn, she looking good.
No. Dan,
Anyway.
Dan, here's another thing you missed. The producers realized we cannot trust these women with their own hair and makeup.
Yes. That should have been from the get-go, please.
So we are taking over because Kanye's wig situation, night and day.
So, in the original series, 3 of the couples, No Line Label, they broke up and left early. It was a whole mess. Then Isaac and Ruth broke up, and Nkateko and Kanya. I mean, he gave her a promise ring. She didn't want a promise ring, so essentially they broke up. But turns out that they didn't really break up. They all telling their stories. They were really together. Shame. Nkateko has got he's dealing with some trauma there.
Oh no, carry on.
Apparently, it turns out that they decided to work on it, and then she got pregnant, and then so then she got pregnant and gave birth. So now they have a baby. So now they're together. But it was just, I was just looking at him. I was like, hey, man.
Oh, did you hear what happened this weekend?
What happened?
Oh, you didn't hear?
No.
Nkateko had to get a protective order against Kanya because of physical abuse.
Aye, man. Anyway, so that was a whole drama. Then, No Line Lebo are back together after that whole mess. Everyone was like, what are y'all doing? Lebo, of course, continues to have a friendship with Isaac. So we're told. Mm-hmm. And then she breaks up with him live on TV. Mm-hmm. Makes him cry. It was so dramatic.
The part that kills me is Genesis has to control him giving. Genesis is giving him and to keep him up. This is the same Genesis who was getting outmaxed by Gold Tooth Jembo. Which is actually another wild story. This is there's so many wild subplots where you realize like how emotionally mature some people are. So Gold Tooth Jimboy, I'm not even remember his name. Gold Tooth Jimboy gets paired up with another woman. Well, actually, she's quite beautiful. And then they start connecting. And my man's like, at the end of the week, he's like, yo, I'm falling in love with this babe. And then they even get each other gifts. So, but when they go, then they have to go back to the original couple. So now it's a weird thing because now you've got gifts from quote unquote your exes, but you're living in the house with your current partner. To the point where Gold Tooth's girl gets pissed and she's like, take this back. And he's like, refusing. And essentially what it amounts to is he's pissed at his girlfriend for not letting him accept gifts or pine over his fake girlfriend. And he's cussing her out for it. He's like, you don't understand. I'm trying to be happy. She makes me happy.
This is why if you're going to this show, you're actually not interested in your relationship. That's the honest truth.
Just want social media followers.
That's okay. That's fine. You're trying to get yourself a new person. And you're right. His paired girlfriend, she was fire. Anyway, I saw people talking about it afterwards. They were like, yeah, no, apart from the breakup, this really wasn't giving. I was like, yo, what are you guys? Is this what reality TV? Do you guys want people to shoot each other? Like,
no, I
people were saying no.
What was genuine is Kanya wasn't really held she wasn't held accountable. It was like, yo, fam.
But Phil, this is not a morality show. Already, the entire premise of the show shows that this is not. It's not the part of the show to say that we think you were wrong. The audience is going to say that. Maybe what they expected was, because she was given the opportunity, Caesar, for example, was given the opportunity, is there something you want to say to Kanya? And then she says, no, I forgive her. And then Kanya says, cool, I'm also sorry for what I did. We forgive each other. So what's supposed to happen? I could see the producers tried to stoke it a little bit, but what did you expect? It's like, we are here to pass judgment on you. Yes, I understand for drama's sake it would be interesting, and for closure's sake, this very toxic person must get her comeuppance. But I mean, how is that going to happen? Anyway, what this has showed me is that you guys are messed up because that wasn't giving. It wasn't enough drama. There was supposed to be more. Aye. You guys need to see therapists, please. Please get therapy in your lives. I'm begging. Anyway, let's actually start this podcast and get into
Well, we've got a lot of topics. Let's get into that. There's actually a topic I'm going to do a blog post about it. I'm putting it on camera so I can get it done. I was thinking about it.
Hold on,
yeah,
Philip. Let's do Africans doing it big.
That's the post I want to write about. So I'm preempting.
Yeah, so let me start with the one that will have the least discussion. But huge congratulations to DJ King Her, who's been listed as one of the performers at this year's MTN Bushfire Festival in Eswatini. King Her is going to be performing on the Ballantyne's Firefly stage alongside some other DJs like Dali Wonga, Da Capo, Stella Jacobs, Sebastian Dutch. So congratulations to Zimbabwe's very own King Her doing her thing out at the MTN Bushfire Festival in Eswatini. All right. Next African doing it big. Huge congratulations to none other than Learnmore Jonasi, who became the latest Golden Buzzer winner at America's Got Talent after he did his 2-minute set in front of the judges, wowed them with his performance, and got that Golden Buzzer. Terry Crews says it's his favorite audition yet. So congratulations to Learnmore Jonasi, formerly known as Long John. If you're wondering what the Golden Buzzer is, it's basically like it's a definite guaranteed go through. You know what I'm saying? It's an automatic passage onto the next stage of America's Got Talent because of such an extreme liking by one of the judges. So congratulations to Learnmore Jonasi. Now that congratulations are out of the way, this has been a huge discussion point all over the timeline and all over online and even in person. I'll share some of the thoughts. But yeah, now, Philip, please tell us. You said you wanted to write an article about this.
No, well, I think based on a lot of that feedback. So the bit of the backstory is, I remember Long John from the days I'd see him around our area. So a lot of them, like the Makaba Show, Shoko Festival, a few comedy show pop-ups here and there that I'd go see. And I never found him incredibly funny, you know? But
yeah.
Somehow he did seem to find his audience. He went to South Africa, then he went to America. And then I started seeing one or two of his sets in America. I was like, okay, this guy's comedy is improving. Like, he was being funny. And then I think the longer he stayed in America, I think he started realizing what was resonating with that audience. And what that is that woe is me. Not really woe is me, but I've come from poverty. I've come from Africa. I've come this far. Like, English is my first language. Like, his set is a quintessential example of like the brand he's trying to build.
Yeah.
It kind of irks me. But at the same time, I was starting to realize, and I was like, yeah, I'm not too sure why. And I started interrogating that. So when he announced this thing, I was like, I'm happy for him, but I don't find him that funny. But I think I have the let's just say experience to know that there's a time and a place. When someone is celebrating a big win and people are happy for them, don't poo-poo on people's parades. You know? Just let people have their fun. And that's what I did. I was like, letting people have fun. I was like, I don't find it funny, but you know what? Whatever. It's no skin off my back. And then the more I thought about it and the more I saw people on both sides, those that are really happy and those that were negative, and then obviously arguments and debates ensued. And obviously the main argument was like, yo, he's talking about like riding a donkey and climbing mountains to make calls, but the calls aren't even phone calls, they're just shouting at each other. And I was just like, at the end of the day, why do we care? Comedians lie all the time. Dave Chappelle's, his first big special, he lied about a crack kid selling crack and hiding in women's vaginas. In two specials ago, and in a very serious joke, he lied.
Is that the right term?
Embellish, lie, whatever. For comedic effect, like people embellish. Dave Chappelle lied again about that Dream Hampton story and the R. Kelly documentary. He lied because it was a joke. But Dream Hampton was offended by it, rightfully so. But he lied and we all laughed at it. Like, but it was a funny joke. Trevor Noah, remember that joke he told about going to Zambia and people riding the escalator? Like, it may have been a lie, but some Zambians were offended, but it also may be true. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, yo, whenever I have the misfortune of going to Joyner, on more than one occasion, I've seen the guards have to chase kids out of the elevator because kids come to Joyner just to ride the elevator. Right? And it's a signifier of the state of our country. Like, the other thing is, every December on my TikTok, especially the last 2 Decembers, but in general, there's all these rich kids that come home that vlog their lives, and they live very nice lives. They live in massive houses. Their parents have multiple cars. They obviously can afford to send these children to either school, or they're living outside the country. And do you know what they all have in common, Dan? No matter how big and how nice the house is, at some point during that holiday, they're taking a bucket bath. Like, Zimbabwe, things here are so tough. We are taking a bucket bath. Our traffic lights don't work. We have load shedding. We don't have drinkable water. We have a lot of things wrong in this country. And keep in mind, we're speaking of the North. These are people with resources, finances, very blessed. So how do we even know what a village in Chimanimani has? I was thinking about, like, I've driven past Chimanimani many times. I've been to Chimanimani many times, but I've been to Chimanimani, the town. I haven't been
to a village there.
I've never been to the surrounding village, the growth points. I don't know. But also, even if he's lying, it's a joke. Like, since when are comedians the reflection of society? And I think Neil Brennan has a perfect example of this. It's like, since we're like, what does it say about our society when we go to get our news or a fix on reality from the clowns? Why are we listening to the clowns? At the end of the day, if his comedy isn't for you, fair and fine. It's not for me. I'm happy for dude. I don't know him personally, but shout out to him for doing his thing. And if the worst of his jokes is, yo, I grew up poor and we have one traffic light. At the end of the day, like, really, why are we so offended? There are traffic lights in Harare right now that don't work, that have not worked for years. Do you know there are traffic lights that work, like, especially Enterprise, corner of Enterprise in Glenara. That's a very busy intersection. And it's an intersection
Philip,
to
can
Amaga
I
I just want to just finish this point.
Can I play?
I just want to finish this point.
I want to play.
I just want to finish this point, then I'll be done.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I've been there many times. So that traffic light works so intermittently. Even when it does work, people operate like it doesn't work, and everyone gets confused. If that happens at the corner of Glenara and Enterprise, in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Harare, which is Highlands and Newlands, what about money? Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. It's like, you know what? Shout out to my man Long John. Well, Learnmore now. Do your thing. I would hope your comedic topics expand, but if they don't, whatever. No skin off my back.
So the reason I was somewhat interrupting you, because I was like, I'm just trying to remember that not everyone is always fully in line with what we're talking about, right? So we just congratulated Learnmore for getting the Golden Buzzer. America's Got Talent. He does his thing, right? But obviously this led to an entire social media furor, right? I want to play his set. It's 2 minutes. I just want to play it. You guys can hear it. And then you've heard part of Phil's take, and then I also have my take as well. So I'm just going to play it now. Let me make sure that you can also hear it clearly, Phil. There we go. All right.
And what's your name?
My name is Learnmore Jonasi. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I come from Zimbabwe.
Oh, brilliant. You look very excited.
I'm very excited. You have no idea. Like, I wanted to be here.
I can.
You know, I used to watch this show with my grandmother, and she always say, "I see you on this show, Learnmore." So
is that
I'm
right?
Here. Yes.
Okay.
I even learned how to speak English from watching stand-up comedy with my grandfather too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I think we're dying to hear
he's
what
hitting
you
all
do
the touch
now.
points.
We always say
He knows
2
what to do.
minutes can change everything.
That's true.
So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Good.
Yeah.
Learnmore Jonasi live on America's Got Talent. Let's
Hey,
go.
everybody. You see, I come from a small village in Zimbabwe called Chimanimani, far away from everything. Like where the simplest of things, ignites our excitement. Like they recently installed a traffic light in my village. Everybody was so excited about this traffic light. We're all taking photos with it. Oh my God! Kissing the traffic light. We don't need a traffic light in my village. We don't need it because we don't drive like you Americans. You guys drive crazy, okay? Because in my village, we drive like... Hiya!
Let the record show he is indicating riding a donkey.
That's good.
Like we don't even have a good cell phone reception. If you want to call someone, you have to climb a mountain first. When you're on top of that mountain, you finally call the person like, Simon! My village is interesting, man. Our people are so old school. We don't even use social media. To view someone's photos, you have to visit their house first. Walk around the house, looking at all the photos in the house. I like this one. Ooh, and I like this one. I would like to share this one.
He is holding up the photo.
Yeah. But now I'm in America, man. I'm adjusting to this country, man. Everything is new to me. Like when I first came to America, I saw something I didn't know existed. I saw poor white people. What? How is this possible? This white guy was like, can I have $1? I was like, I came here to ask you for $1. What? I started taking photos. I was like, oh my God. I was kissing him. America is new to me, man. Even the food in America. There's so much food in America. It's so big. The portions are big. The other day, an American friend of mine, I was like, man, I am starving. I was like, no. You are hungry, okay? Trust me, there's a difference, okay? Now, do you think when I go back to my village, after experiencing this much food in America, and someone is like, man, I am hungry, I'll be like, no, you are starving, okay? Thank you very much. My name is Learnmore Jonasi.
Listen to that standing ovation.
Dan, how'd you listen to a standing ovation?
You can hear the knees creaking as they stand up.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I'll just play a little bit of their reaction, then we'll talk.
Oh my goodness, I got to go to Howie first.
We are so glad you're here.
Appreciate you.
Let me just say something. Stand-up comedy is hard enough as it is.
Yeah.
But to come from another country where English isn't even your first language, not only communicate with everybody, but tickle everybody, make everybody laugh, make this a better place.
Appreciate you.
You are truly amazing.
Thank you. It means a lot.
You're funny, you look great. I love your spirit, your accent, all of it.
I
Love the whole
appreciate you.
package.
Thank you.
I think that you were good from top to bottom.
Thank you.
This is the most fun time we've had today.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
I actually think you're one of the funniest people we've ever had over the years.
Simon says you're one of the funniest people we've ever had.
You've got it. I was laughing so much. You were having the best time as well.
Of course. Yeah. This is my dream,
I can tell.
All right, I'm going to pause it there.
So,
Wait, go, actually, you know what? Go check out the full video.
Before you continue, you know, like when he was talking about America the way he was, this is what I remind you of. Remember this video, Dan?
I got it. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America. America.
I went to America.
Okay.
Learn so much from TV. Like it's amazing, especially considering.
No, don't be snippy, Phil.
I don't be snippy. I'll just be like, yo, my man's okay. For you to watch America's Got Talent, you need ETV, which means you need a TV, you need a decoder, you need a satellite.
No, Phil, come on, relax. Okay, let's state some things that are obvious. Okay.
I know. So
If you don't get that, this is stand-up comedy.
I know so why.
I.e., you're there to tell jokes. He's not out there giving a report in front of the United Nations.
No, it wasn't standard. This was the preamble. You're setting the scene, which is actually genius because what he's doing is he's setting the expectations really low so that when he comes in, they're surprised, which is great. It's actually genius. They're like, yo, this is a fresh off the boat. Like, oh my God, like he's really black. And he's not even like Trevor Noah. You know, like Trevor Noah was half white, you know what I mean? Like he's even his accent, you know?
Yeah, and he fully leans into that accent. And okay, so something that's obvious. It's stand-up comedy. 2, he's not, I wouldn't go so far as to say lying. His entire goal is to make you laugh. That's the goal. That's the goal, make you laugh. If you can use the truth to do that, hey, cool. Maybe that's even a skill that's worth looking into. If you have to lie to do that, hey, that's your goal. If it's not a lie, some people's comedy is just physical. They're making funny faces and tripping over chairs. I'm sure there's people like, that looks so obvious. He wasn't going to trip over that chair. Again, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like those are 2 obvious things. So the thing with comedy, any kind of art, is it's 100% subjective. There's people who love it. There's people who hate it. And whether you like it or not is going to be determined by a lot of factors. So I've thought about who I like as a comedian. So I really like some of the GOATs like Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, just different people who have different styles of comedy. I've also realized there's other people whose comedy, look, it's not my style of comedy, but I can get 1 or 2 laughs out of it. I'll give you an example. Cat Williams, to me, is a GOAT of comedy. That dude is funny. But his style of comedy isn't typically the type of comedy I would like. Typically. But he's so good at telling his stories that I find myself laughing anyway. But that style of comedy that he does, I don't know what to call it. The Cat Williams whole, he's a little bit obvious with the jokes. You know what I'm saying? But I still laugh because he's that talented, he's that good that even his style makes me laugh in that. And there's plenty of other probably very talented comedians who I would watch and I'll just be like, eh. The same is true of Trevor Noah. I recognize Trevor's talent as a comedian, but that's not my, you know what I mean? In general. And of course, there's some jokes that I'll laugh at. And there's some specials I remember that I was like, But his most recent specials that I've watched, barely able to crack a smile. But I'd be watching. I'd be watching and I'll be like, you know what? This is quite genius. I can see why people... I remember he had this whole bit about British people arriving in India. And I can see Indian people watching that. I watched a YouTube video of an Indian, someone was playing it for his Indian parents and they were watching and cracking up with laughter. Like, yo, this guy is good. This guy's good. When I watched that, I was like, it's okay. I guess it's kind of funny-ish, but you know. And then I realized, obviously, that different demographics, different people react differently to comedy. Now, this specific, when I look at Learnmore, I can see the talent. I can see it. I can see the jokes. I can see how they're landing. His timing, comedic timing, inflection of the voice, and I have to say as well, you just heard the audio in this episode. But if you watch the video, my dude is full on he's using his entire body to perfection. It's not my style of comedy because I feel like the jokes are a little bit too obvious. The setup being in my village, for example, in my village, you have to climb a mountain to make a call. So you climb the mountain, you're expecting him to pull out a cell phone, but no, he's calling out. A little too obvious of a setup and a punchline for me, but he delivered it excellently. And I can understand that type of comedy being fun to people. So I get it. It's funny to people, but it's not my style of comedy. That's one thing. The second thing is I'm the butt of the joke in the sense that I'm Zimbabwean. So that initial feeling of you're laughing at me is not nice. It's not nice. We've spoken about this when we spoke about, for example, the Ligabatika response to Dave Chappelle and so on. Of course, there's some deeper issues there because there's issues to do with discrimination. But in general, no one enjoys being the butt of the joke. Zimbabwe is so small in the grand scheme of things. We're very rarely ever the butt of the joke. But every now and again, when the name comes up, it's always in a negative sense. And I get that feeling sometimes. It's like when someone foreign says something bad about Zimbabwe. I agree, but ooh, that feeling in me just rises to defend. Like, yeah, whoa. So I think in this situation, many of us have reacted as the butt of the joke, the same way that the butts of many other jokes have reacted negatively to jokes that have been told about them. My initial reaction as the butt of the joke was, nah, that's not really that funny, man. But then when I thought about it a little bit, I was like, no, hey, hang on. Relax, dude. Be easy, man. You're the butt of the joke this time. It's cool. Objectively, I can understand people laughing at that. Again, it's an American audience. They're at America's Got Talent. This is not some sophisticated comedy, audience. Not meaning to sound elitist or whatever, but my man played to that audience perfectly.
I think that's where we've also got to be. That's the other thing I was thinking of is that's not actually true. Howie Mandel is probably one of the biggest comedy promoters in the world. He has a whole festival that flies in comedians from all over the world every year to Canada. So based on that, I think he has a good eye for comedy. He sees something that we're not seeing because we're blinded by the fact that it's a joke.
You misunderstand me. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying even someone who has a really good eye for comedy, it doesn't mean that they prefer the style of comedy that I like. Mm-hmm. You could have someone who is way better at understanding comedy than I am, but they just like a different type of comedy. So you've given a description of Howie Mandel, and he liked Learnmore. And that's very valid because Learnmore did show some talent. He did. He showed some talent in his delivery of these jokes. It's just a personal preference. Just like I can acknowledge that, who's an example I can use? I can acknowledge that Zayn Malik is insanely talented as a singer because I've heard some of his music. But I don't sit and listen to Zayn Malik's music, man. That's not my kind of... Okay, that's a bit of a wrong example because I've liked some of his songs. I don't know who did. Think of anyone. Oh my gosh. Who's a good singer who I don't listen to?
Zayn Malik. No, if you tell me you listen to him. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, I honestly, some of his music is actually kind of dope. But you get my point. It's possible to recognize the talent of an artist and understand why people like him and then realize that, no, but it's not really my thing. And that's perfectly fine. And like you said, sometimes it's not necessary to call out how, unless obviously it's a discussion, it's like, oh yeah, no, I didn't really like it, but congratulations to him. Cool. But that's not what people are saying. People are saying he's not funny. No, just say he's not funny to me. Which maybe that's redundant, but you have to recognize that when you say it at that point, it is hate. Then there's a third point I wanted to bring up, which I think I may have gotten wrong. The third point that I have is another one of my initial reactions was, I think it's low to play to the African stereotype and make us look bad for you to get cheap laughs. I think you should aim higher than that. You should aim better than that. That was my first thought. And then when I thought about it a little bit more, it's maybe what I would prefer for comedy. Does that mean any other comedy shouldn't exist? Of course not. People have different tastes. It's not low. It's just his style of comedy. If there's someone available to laugh at, oh my gosh, Africans are so poor, there should be someone to tell the joke. And who better than an African to benefit from that, take money from that, gain from yeah, go for it. You are owning you are there telling the story that will make people laugh. It's your story to tell. And it's your jokes to tell. Cool. I disagree with it. If I disagree with it, maybe I don't have to watch it. Cool. But that's fine. So I've sort of updated my view. My initial thought was, nah, this is not cool because of representation of Africa in the eyes of the world. Man, who cares about what the West thinks of Africa?
Guys, and that's the other thing is like, we're so, not you specifically, but I think just in general, like, yes, it's natural to want to defend your nation. It's natural to, it's like, I can beat up my brother, but you can't beat up my brother. He's my brother. And that's the truth. But also, if they started researching Zimbabwe, they'll find a lot worse.
Did he lie though?
Than traffic.
Did he lie though?
Guys, we have official opening ceremonies for dustbins.
So ultimately, after having gone through, and I had my hot take and then had a bit of time to think about it and so on. My current position now is, I am so happy for Dude congratulations, well deserved. You show talent. You've worked hard. We've seen you working. This is not the first time we've spoken about Learn More on this podcast.
Yeah, my man's got his green card and everything of this, bro.
My man's been working. And best believe this America's Got Talent Golden Buzzer, the impressions and views he got just from that alone. That YouTube video that I just played was from the official America's Got Talent page, is just crossed over 500,000 views. And the comments are all people laughing, dying, enjoying. The combined America's Got Talent Instagram, Twitter, etc., have long passed 500,000. My man has had over 1 million people in a couple of days, in the matter of a couple of days. And that's not even to mention the people who are watching it on live TV. My man has had millions of people watch him and think he's hilarious. So it's okay that some people don't think he's hilarious. I would argue that fewer people think he's not funny than the people who think he's funny. So is he funny? Objectively, if there was an objective way to measure funniness, it would be how many people think you're funny versus how many people think you're not funny.
There's no way, because it's art. Art is subjective.
Yes, so there's no objective way. But if there was one, that would probably be it. So ultimately, my position here, congratulations, dude. You've clearly shown talent. You've impressed people. You've made them laugh, and your career is only going to blossom from here, I hope. I would imagine. And like you said, I do hope that the material that you're next going to show is going to evolve more. But even if it doesn't, congratulations to you. Is it my style of comedy? No, it's not. I think it's a little bit surface level, a little bit obvious. And I did feel a kind of way about making fun of Zimbabwe. But then when I think about it, I'm like, no, it's because I'm the butt of the joke. It's fine, actually. Go ahead. Make fun of us. We've made fun of other people. We make fun of ourselves, heck. So it's all good. I feel like after having thought about it for a couple of days, I think like, you know what? That makes sense. And then I was just watching how there's some people who feel super strongly that, no, you can't be tearing down your nation in front of people. Like, chill out, dude. Comedians regularly make fun of their own people. In fact, I would argue that's what got Trevor Noah his leg up in the first place, just constantly making fun of South Africa. It just hurts a little bit extra here because, we're in such a bad space in Zim. But who do you want him to make? Do you want him to make fun of other countries? No, he must make fun of his own country. Use his own experiences. Embellish them if you have to. It's fine. Fine, it didn't take you 14 hours for a bus ride to go and perform. Maybe. I saw people pointing that out. Oh, should he have said 11 hours instead? No, my man is putting together an act with the prelude and the prologue. Let him put his act together. If it's not for you, cool. I'm not even mad at you saying it's not for you, but I'm mad at y'all for trying to really build a negative sense. I think that's so whack. I don't like this. Guys, let's get together and not like it together. I feel like that's whack. I don't like it. It's cool. Hey, guys, I'm trying to change your mind. I want you to not like this. I think that's whack.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations, my dude. I'm actually genuinely happy for you. And even when I first saw it, I was happy. I just felt that little sting of, damn, I'm the butt of the joke. And also that maybe slightly misguided idea of, you really shouldn't be making us look bad in front of these white people. But also, who cares about them? Who cares about what they think of us? Go make jokes, man.
Once again, we can't appease the white gays, my brothers and sisters. Come on now.
I mean, why are you bringing the gays into it? And then, so congratulations to dude. I'll be keen to see how this goes going forward. I'm sure.
I'm sure you're going to be joining Learnmore on set soon. I see it. You too will have
you see, you're saying this with the implication that his comedy is bad.
No.
And I think that's the problem.
No, I'm not saying that.
The problem is, and I think this way as well. It's the same way that I think Kendrick is a better artist than Drake. Subliminally, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm so sophisticated that I appreciate the higher art form that is Kendrick, while you plebs who are less sophisticated than me like Drake. And I feel like that's in hindsight, that's a bad sort of attitude to have. It's okay to say I like Kendrick. Maybe it could potentially be true that there's a certain level of exposure or whatever you want to call it, that will help you appreciate other forms of art. But I think it's wrong to assume that it means you're better than the other person. And I think it's the same with comedy. Again, I do think like listening to Learnmore's comedy, it does feel very surface level, but that doesn't mean I'm better because I prefer some of the more intricate comedy work that other comedians do. It's okay.
Yeah.
Other people like that comedy. It doesn't make him a worse comedian. His jokes are not bad. His jokes are good. They're just for a different audience. And that's cool. And I saw arguments. I saw people arguing, and then somehow it spilled over. I don't know if you saw someone, I'm not even going to mention who, someone tweeted, at least Learnmore is better than your favorite timeline comedian. And then this just led to people fighting over King Kandoro. And, I don't know if you saw, that's why I tweeted, man, this is how I know Kandoro has made it. Because there's people coming out saying, I don't like you, which is cool. He's got people who like him. I like Kandoro's comedy. I think he's really good also at weaving that sort of like, I feel like he's really developed his craft into not just individual jokes, but weaving a sort of theme and storytelling. And I love that in a comedian. And if that's not your thing, cool. Or even if you feel like he's not really doing it well, I prefer the way other people do it, cool. Not everyone likes every piece of art, and that's fine. But I think it's whack to sort of try and mobilize people to dislike someone. That's kind of whack, man. Just say you don't like it. It's cool. Move on. So, yeah, shout out. Phil, are we going to his show?
Yeah. I already told him. I don't care. I'll even stand on stage. It's fine. I'm not paying.
I got tickets. I'll be taking the missus on the Saturday.
Wait, he gave you tickets already?
Yeah, there was some transactions.
Oh,
I promised to pay. Kandor. I know I promised to pay you for those tickets, but look, you know what I mean? Let's discuss. Let's discuss. Look, free promo. All right, this is the payment for your tickets.
Dude, these
guys.
shows are sold out. What are you talking about?
Hey, guys, make sure you buy tickets to King Kandoro's show. Side note, I have to give him props. His strategy at ensuring he's got a triple sold out show in Harare, meanwhile sold out in other locations as well. Impeccable. Top notch. Shout out to you, man.
Indeed.
And hey, man, haters, eat your eyes out. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. The rest of us are going to be having fun. This is like that meme of people who are having fun together and then someone's on the outside saying, that's whack. It's like, okay, cool. We're having a good time over here. So all good.
Yeah. I think also just double back because you brought up something.
Yeah.
The Drake thing. I think things have died down. Not really died down, but I've had a chance to reflect. And I think personally, I even caught myself doing this, but I'm surprised I did. But in retrospect, I realized I had. I'd kind of discounted how big of an artist Drake is. Drake is the biggest urban act currently, right? We can't really
maybe even ever.
Well, I was about to say we can't really say that because it's a different world, different metric system.
Yeah.
But I don't think he actually is. No, retrospect he's not. Dude, Michael Jackson. You could take Michael Jackson you could take Michael Jackson to the Learnmore's village in Chimani. Kids would know who Michael Jackson was in that village. You can't. Drake will be touch and go. I think it's touch and go with Drake.
No. So the reason, obviously, I think Michael Jackson is bigger. I just wasn't counting him as an urban act.
So the reason, well, I'm just speaking in general. Like I think Drake is second only to Taylor. I think Bad Bunny, The Weeknd, Ariana Grande. They're all
Billie Eilish.
They all.
I got some white people business for y'all today.
They're all like just a smidge below, but they're close. But I think Drake is up there, and I think the reason why Drake was so cavalier with his diss tracks was because of that. He's like, in retrospect, it's like, dude, do you know who I is? Do you know who I am? You know what I mean? And I think that's all the more reason why this beef will go down as one of the best beefs ever, because it's starting to show cracks. Whether those cracks will actually have a detrimental effect to Drake's career, we'll see in a bit.
Sorry.
Dad, why are you doing this? Like, this whole episode was just interrupting.
Sorry, man. No, because I opened a new tab and sorry.
But I think the first chink is this Drake verse from the Sexy Red song. Oh, it's not good. Well, to be fair, Drake's verse is not bad. I think the BBL flip.
The song is trash,
but the song is trash. The Mob Ties reference track, that one, like Drake was already on shaky grounds with hip hop heads, but I think that's going to be a hard one to come from. And the difference there is it's not like he just took a beat, he just took a cadence, he just took a thing. Mob Ties is a response to Pusha and Kanye. And it's not like a reference song it's a generic subject that was then taken by Drake. It's a specific topic. It was almost like a song by Brief written for Drake, which is very damning in that respect. Will his core fan base care? No, because his core fan base don't really care about hip hop, which is fine. Like Drake's a pop act now. But I think his hip hop card is starting to look a bit shaky. And I just find that interesting. It also doesn't help that the 2 diss songs that were dropped on you have gone platinum in less than a month. And it's looking crazy. But
so here's a somewhat controversial take. Everything is made up, Phil. You've said this many times, right? Mm-hmm. So we can choose what matters to us. Mm-hmm. And obviously it helps if there's like some solid reasons for why you choose certain things. But the whole concept of what counts as a hip hop card, I think was more important to the generation before us than it is now to us. In general, of course, not individually, people are going to have different opinions, but in general. And the generation that's after us is almost non-existent. Of course, I'm sure if you go deep into the boroughs of New York or LA or whatever, there's different meanings of what hip hop is. But speaking as a consumer with somewhat of a view of what's going on around the world, I think the whole concept of, damn, do you write your own music? Damn, do you do you rep your hood? Like all these different things that were viewed as important in the hip hop community as opposed to what's normal in the pop community. I think it's going to matter less and less. And I don't think the average fan under 30 cares that there's reference tracks and that Drake might not have written this, except maybe to say it for trolling because they know that that's what Drake's being dissed for. I think the average, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I do. Like whatever tools you used to make a good song, I might care if you stole, if you basically just had someone else do the entire thing and then you just use your voice. It might make me respect the other person more. I don't know. But I think overall, you've put out a hot song or a dope song. I don't really care, as long as it wasn't completely unethical, what methods you used to put it together.
I think that unethical part is very debatable because it's the music industry. And,
of course.
And I think
that is very debatable.
I think the issue that I think quote unquote hip hop heads are grappling with it's what all fans of subgenres grapple with. Like they were hardcore fans of punk who understood the nuances of that culture. And then when punk went mainstream, they kind of got washed out and they were like, this is not what punk's about. And then it fills out. And then came heavy metal.
Remember, we had this conversation about dancehall as well.
Yeah.
Like people didn't like Sean Paul, who by the way will be having a tiny desk this weekend. But the original dancehall heads are like, nah, that's not real dancehall. Da 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 da. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is like, just give me the light. So,
but the thing there is, Sean Paul, I used to hate dancehall. Like my sister used to play that incessantly, and I used to hate it until I heard Sean Paul, and I was like, you know what, this actually bangs. And Sean Paul was my introduction to dancehall. So Drake has done the same thing for hip hop, and we can't negate it. There's kids, especially Middle America, Europe, etc., who never would have ingested hip hop if it wasn't for him. He's given looks. In as much as Kendrick may have been right with this take about being a colonist, quote unquote, it's also unfair to say that 21 Savage did not benefit from Drake being on this song. Rick Ross did not benefit from Drake from being on this song. But it's a give and take. And I think it's very myopic to look at a give and take scenario and only look at the take and ignore the give. Because there's a lot that was given in that respect. Do I believe that the persona Drake portrays is beneficial? No, but it's also the entertainment industry. You've got to create this persona to make you sellable, blah, 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 blah. I think there are different ways they could have gone around it, but it is what it is. So I'm not mad at it. I'm also not enthused by it, but I am happy that he's grown the industry. If it wasn't for him, there was a couple of years, but I think from like 2016 to 2020, when hip-hop was the biggest genre, particularly in America, and Migos, one of the biggest, groups in America, Migos got their big explosion after Drake look. Like, granted, Fight Night was doing numbers, Versace was doing numbers, but the moment Drake opened that remix, stratosphere. And you kind of
I won't lie. There's something cold about this is a gated community. Please get off the property. I don't know. It's just like, it's just a cold bar. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, go on.
So, anyway, I'm saying all that to say, to bring it all back to tie it in a nice bow. In 5 to 10 years, there's going to be a Zimbabwean comedian doing things on a global scale, and it might even be Kandoro. But I think it'll be the generation after, and they'll credit the work that Long John, Learnmore, and Kandoro have done. They might not agree with the work, but the fact that Simon Cowell now knows that there's a comedy scene in Zimbabwe, the fact that Howie Mandel knows that there's a comedy scene in Zimbabwe, it might be for the show. The
next comedian to come out is going to be like, oh, I remember that dude, and it will open more doors.
Not only that, a booking agent will be like, yo, I booked Learnmore. He did well for me on ticket sales. Okay, there's a community of Zimbabweans, so there's a community of Africans that come out to your guys' shows. I bet I got you. I'm gonna get you a booking. Because before they were like, Zimbabwe, do you guys even sell tickets? Nah, we don't know. And if Learnmore is so kind or so enterprising, if he now reaches back and is like, yo, I remember the dudes I was doing comedy with back in Zim. Yo, Doc Vikela, let's roll. You know what I mean? Now Doc Vikela is seeing the world that he hasn't seen before. So it's a give and take, guys. And I think we've got to start thinking of it that way. Like, everything can't be perfect. The world simply doesn't. There has to be a compromise somewhere. And in the grand scheme of things, compromising about a joke that is marginally false, even if it is, I can't care less.
Yeah, that's like, you're right. So I do think my initial reaction was a little prickly because I was like, damn, he's making fun of me. I didn't think that in the moment. It's just I was trying to interrogate why did I feel that way. And then, obviously, I can also understand someone who feels like someone who would say, for example, you're making jokes about people starving in Zimbabwean villages. That's not funny. I get you.
But people are starving in Zimbabwean villages right now.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, let me give you an example. We remember when we were talking about Dave Chappelle making a rape joke. That's happening, right? There's people experiencing that and it's painful for them. I can understand someone who feels that pain say, how can you make a joke about this? But the flip side was, honestly, you can make a joke about everything. There's not a single thing you can't make a joke about. The caveat is the joke needs to be funny. If it's funny, if people laugh, you've achieved your goal. Sometimes the darkest things need to be things we laugh at. And I understand to some people that's complete. Honestly, I completely understand if the thought is, this is too dark for me to think about laughing at. But other people deal with things by laughing. I know that's one thing I do. I make a lot of self-deprecating humor, even about some of the worst times in my life. And I know other people also feel the same. So if someone says, I know how bad some of the people starving in Zimbabwe are. I don't think it's funny to make a joke about that. I can understand that. And it's okay for you to feel that way. And we've said this. If you feel that this is not funny, your feelings are valid. You have every right to feel that. Although I might say, hey, if you lightened up a little bit, it might not be too bad for your general well-being. It's okay. It's okay. Laugh at yourself a little bit. Then let's get back to the serious business of trying to fix things. But it's okay. Laugh a little bit. Yes, ha ha ha. Compare how much people eat in America to how little people eat in starving African villages. I mean, it's kind of sad, but let's laugh about it, then figure out how to fix it. I mean, that's how I see the world. And I know people see it differently. But my point is, it's cool. That's fine. It's not that deep. And if it is that deep, then you don't have to consume the art. It's okay.
We're about to discuss a heavy topic. So, Dan, I've got an intermission. Let's have a little comedic intermission. Let's bring this up. Hold on. I'm not going to give any context. I'm just going to play the video. Let's see if people figure out what's going on.
You really can't make this stuff up. It is absolutely appalling, shameful, and frightening that these are the type of educators that are in an elementary school teaching our children. But now we got a teacher in the classroom on school hours, stripping down butt naked, bending over and showing everything on the video, and all you could see was cellulite hanging in pubic hair. This is a disgrace and a shame that this is the type of educator and teacher that is in the classroom. And she made multiple videos. Yes, the district was unaware until we brought this to their attention. If she would do this in the classroom, what else will she do? This woman obviously had lost her damn mind. She needs psychotropic medication. She pulls out her breasts and she's juggling them. Look like she's about to fall over. Then she bends over and pulls down her panties.
Why is this being discussed in such detail at a press conference?
Now, Philip, here we are having elevated conversations that expand the psyche. You got to bring this mess here. Why?
No, Dad, we need to have a detailed discussion about teachers, the education system, and if said teachers are allowed to have sexual needs or desires, or how they can separate their extracurricular activities from their educational work and responsibilities.
We need to bring back shame. This is a hill that I'm willing to die on. We need to bring back shame.
All you can see was said you let them be big. Oh my God. No, the one part, like, you guys see the video. There's just a woman like shaking her head like behind the man. Just like, then the last part when he was talking about her jiggling his boobs and falling over, you can see she looks down because she's about to burst out laughing. Anyway, back to serious matters.
All right. Let's do a quick update on the whole Diddy situation.
Damn, we got to put a trigger warning. Jesus Christ, Dan.
Why?
Because it's thing. Hold on.
1, 2. Check me out right here, yo.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together. Better now than never, business before pleasure. P. Diddy and the fam, who you know do it better. Yeah, right, no matter what, we airtight. So when you hear something, make sure you hear it right. Don't make an ass out of yourself by assuming our music keeps you moving. What are you proving? You know that I'm 2 levels above you, baby. Hug me, baby, I'ma make you love me, baby. Talk.
Are you sure you want to be playing?
We got the real live shit. Fuck y'all niggas wanna do.
There we go.
It's all fucked up now. What I'ma do now? Huh? What I'ma do now? It's all fucked up now.
Lyrics are coming to life. Yo, so Rolling Stone released their book. It took me last night and this morning to read that article. It was detailed. I was making notes, obviously, when I was reading it. If you guys haven't a chance to, there's a Rolling Stone article. Please make sure you put the links in the show notes. But they basically detail the history of Diddy's activities. Weirdly enough,
I mean, they said it
of-
was a 6-month investigation that they were
so
doing.
here's the thing. So 6-month investigation, 2 reporters, they said they tried to contact 300 people that had dealings with Diddy. Of those 300, only about 50 responded and a few only went on the record. And I'm reading it and I'm like, yo, there's so much stuff these guys glossed over. There's so many other stories that they could have delved deep into. They could have, the Club NYC story would have added another, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 words to that story alone. But if you do get a chance, read it. Obviously, if you have the temerity or the stomach for it, go ahead. It basically backs up a lot of the stuff that happened in front of us. And I think that's also the strange thing is like, as humans, as a society, we let celebrities get away with a lot. A lot of the stuff that they spoke of is not stuff that was new to me. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember the chef. Remember we discussed on the podcast. Remember that when the chef was suing Diddy for making her serve meals while he was naked or being inappropriate.
Yes, I
or
remember
being
that.
around.
Yeah,
And like context, like at the time, it was almost funny. It's just like, okay, dude was just being horny, but then now it's like, oh snap, he was being horrible. Like this is wild. And I think this should be. I don't think it will be, but I hope that it is some form of an opportunity for society to hold a mirror up to themselves and reflect on how we view celebrities, how we treat them, what we allow them to get away with, and to call stuff out when it happens. And I'm saying this now. I don't want to bring it up because, granted, these are not yet allegations. These are not yet proven criminal activities, right? But as fans, we dismiss a lot of stuff, right? Or we can justify a lot of strange behavior. All I'm going to say is I hope that 5, 10, 15 years from now, there isn't a 20,000 word expose on Drake and his inappropriate relationships with women. Because it kind of smells funny, it looks funny, but people dismiss it. And I'm just like, let's not be so quick. I would rather we start erring on the side of caution than start erring on the side of grace. So, the Diddy article, I'm not going to get into the details. It's harrowing. There's a lot of stuff there. We discussed a lot of it in the Patreon group, but I will say one thing that immediately snapped into my head, which I shared in the group, was when I was reading this, I was like, yo, snap, you know, when I think about it, right? Diddy was with J-Lo from around 98 to 2000. 2001, she released a movie called Enough. And in that movie, Enough, it's about a woman who's in an abusive relationship who had a child, who tried to leave that relationship, and her ex-husband kept tormenting her. If you read how Diddy treated Cassie, and from that court case, and even in that article, sounds real similar. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, not to take away the possibilities of everything, right? But I mean, did she make the movie or was she just starring in it?
But she was offered the role. And like she's got as any actress will have, you have a pile of scripts that your agent will have, and you then choose which ones you want to pursue. So she chose she chose the script for a reason. It's not like she was forced to do the script. It might be a coincidence.
Fair enough.
It might be a coincidence. It might be more to it. I just found that. I was just like, wow, you know what? Maybe we didn't give her enough grace. I don't know. Because Mans was doing wild things.
Yeah.
But also, I was proud of us then because I was looking back at how we covered the situation even from years back. And we were like, this Diddy guy's moving a bit funny. Let's approach this with skepticism when you're selling back the product. We're like, something don't smell right here.
You're proud of how he handled it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the spirit. That's funny.
What?
Because we got, I mean, we got to give ourselves credit. We get some things right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. A broken clock, a broken clock.
Twice a day. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I actually haven't read. I saw this article. We were discussing in the group. I haven't read it. I always tell myself I'll read it on the flight. And then the flight is 1 hour. So I slept. I don't know. So
how do you sleep with that small ass plane, bro? I don't understand.
So, that's my superpower, actually. My superpower is sleeping on a flight. But yeah, I'll have to. I don't know if I want to read it. I think I probably will. I'll read it regardless.
Yeah, it's a long read, but it's I think it's a very good one. I think that there's a lot of things that could have been added to, but I think that's the whole part. Like the fact that it's such a long read and there was so much that still could have been said,
could have been added to it. Yeah,
is telling. It's telling.
Yeah. I was also listening back to our discussion of it last week, and I was like, you know what? I heard I heard Joe Budden talking about it, and I heard
which is another thing.
Some other people.
I think actually let's touch on that now. So,
yeah,
he's never going to hear this, but I think it's important for listeners because I've also realized that we do have quite a few male listeners, and some of them they take what we say very heavily, and those take what they also listen to Joe Budden and they say what he says. I listen to Joe Budden for one reason. He gives very insightful takes when he's not compromised on hip hop. But I also, and like sometimes I feel icky about it because I'm like, the way this guy moves, it's not the best. Like he's got some weird cases. Why is he around? But
I remember what I was saying last week. But anyway, yeah, go on.
But Joe Budden, in retrospect, if you look back, when I look back at it, he's not going to look very good. When the Cassie case came out, Joe Budden not only defended Diddy, he defended sexual proclivities, and he tried to dismiss the rape, the gang rape situation, and the drugging as just them having orgies, and he tried to dismiss that. When the Lil Rod case was announced, Joe Budden and particularly Queen's Flip immediately started assassinating the character of Lil Rod. And then as things started to shift, I don't know if the checks stopped coming in. I don't know if there was a falling out, but I can't say this for certain, but I think I can hear when there's an agenda. The agenda clearly flipped from let's defend Diddy to whatever. Let's just discuss it and try and make light of it, but let's also not dismiss his actions. Then when the video came out, you remember Joe Budden and them spoke on it, but then they deleted that whole segment from their podcast. And we know they deleted that segment from their podcast because the segment was in the show notes, but it miraculously was no longer there. And then Joe Budden tried to dismiss it, keeping in mind Joe Budden has pending cases of abuse. And then the following episode, they spoke out violently, not violently, but vehemently against the Diddy situation. But even within that, it was ham-fisted to say the least. So, and this isn't the only example of this. There's a lot more. And I think it's also an example of media in general. Like, media is hard. When you're in it, right? Like you and I, because we've been doing podcasting, we've been doing this, even at the small scale, we can look at a podcast and start saying, oh, that's where the money is. That's how they're paying for this. That's how they're doing this. For the longest time, I was even discussing with you, I don't know how this podcast is making money because that was a 12-man staff doing video, turning it around in 6 hours, and they had no ads. And then I started figuring out how they were getting money. I was like, oh, okay, now it starts to make sense. That all being said is, it's really important for listeners to develop media literacy and understand where people are making their money, how they're making the money, and even why are they talking about certain topics. Like we as two broke Twimbos will always try and be transparent. We just talk about stuff we care about. The stuff we get paid to talk about, we'll tell you straight up. This is an ad. We've been paid for this. We do this. Or we got free tickets. We're kind of inclined to be nice to the people. Or we know this person. We're kind of inclined to be nice, but this is how we feel. But for the most part, we'll try and be impartial. Not everyone is that upfront. Anyway, over to you, Dan.
So I guess mine is a little bit more of, I don't know if the right word is caution, along the lines of Diddy is a monster of a person. We know this now. There were always rumors, but it's also probably fair to say that we probably didn't know for sure. But looking back, you're like, you know what? We heard some rumors. You know what I'm saying? In fact, we heard a lot.
I mean, we knew he was
should have
violent. There was unequivocal evidence of his violence. There wasn't
existed.
There wasn't evidence of his violence towards women at this scale that we had known of.
In retrospect, you could argue that there was, because, by the way, before this video came out, Cassie did come out and speak about it. And I mean, this was in court. You know what I'm saying? So there's enough that in retrospect, it's easy to say like, hey man, we should have known, we should have thought about this, right? But what I wanted to say is the scale of what we're discussing about Diddy. We're literally talking about potentially a sociopath who has done some of the most heinous things that you can think of. We're talking about Batman level villain. We're talking about a dude who's evil. Right? That's what we're describing.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's important for us to hold that up there. To say that, you know what, the signs may have been there, but we didn't know for sure until other stuff started coming out. And it's good. I would like to say that, you know what, when Cassie and them came out and said this happened to me, we should believe them. Back when Kim Porter and all of those said all the things that they said, and Aubrey O'Day from Danny Kane said they did, we should have believed them. But okay, society is the way it is. It took a lot more of events to happen before we start believing it. But here we're talking about a villain. And I think that's different to someone misguided or someone in a bad space or someone who's made wrong decisions or someone with demons or someone who's needs therapy. Do you get what I mean? So for example, I don't know Drake, and you could very well be right. 10 years from now, surviving Drake could be a thing. But based on the evidence we have to date, I don't know, Phil, have there been any women that have come forward and claimed that he is abusive or?
Oh, Diddy.
No, Drake.
No. I'm not saying abusive. I'm just saying.
No. I'm not saying you're saying that. I was about to say that to our knowledge, there haven't been any women.
To my recollection, now I can't think of any.
I can't think of one at the moment as well. What we have with him is a couple of weird situations, which, listen, a guy who's moving proper wouldn't really do that. So this looks shady. So I don't think we're in a position where we can say, nah, this is like, for example, the whole texting underage girl thing and, being seen with younger girls and moving a bit funny. And there's reports of parties at your house that end up being a bit weird. All of that is very shady, but obviously we can't make a definitive call right now. But I think it's fair to also say that, listen, we got to be careful. But I don't know if we can really say that this is an evil person based on the information we have. In fact, I would argue that might be a very harmful thing.
But I'm not saying he's evil at all. I'm merely saying.
Phil, this is not a response to you. I'm just also adding my thoughts overall in general to this whole discussion. And I want to say the same thing about Joe Budden. Again, I don't know Joe Budden. I've listened to his podcast a couple of times. I used to like his music back in the day when he made music with Slaughterhouse and On His Own and all of that. I think he's a very good rapper, and I loved some of his songs. I don't know him. And it could very well be possible that he is a trash human being. Maybe he's evil. But I want to argue that with the information we have, it sounds a little bit more like he's kind of a messed up dude who made some wrong decisions, which he must face consequences for, which he must face, his time under the spotlight for. But is it the same sort of pattern of behavior that we could attach to Diddy or R. Kelly? Based on the information we have now, I would say probably not. There's things that he's done that he must face consequences for. But has he shown the same pattern of behavior to say that this is an evil or wicked person that deserves society to spit them out? I don't know. And again, I know that some people might feel like if you lift your hands even once to a woman, society must spit you out. And I respect that viewpoint. That having been said, I think there's a difference between a dude who, again, this is just from the limited information that I have. Maybe I need to read up more on these stories and whatever. But I think there's a difference between a dude who has a temper problem, is toxic in a relationship, and has done some things that he absolutely, like, I don't know, maybe he needs to go to jail for. And society must spit this person out because they're evil. I feel like there's a scale, right? And I don't think we should equate everyone to 100% evil or 100% good. Also, I don't think it's up to any of us to sort of make that judgment call anyway. But I guess the point that I'm trying to put together is it's valid for us to say, you're moving a bit funny, or there's something that you did that you need to face consequences for. And throw this man under the jail. And I think we have that sentiment for Diddy now. But I don't think in general we can have that sentiment for someone like Drake or someone like Joe Budden.
Wait, how did Joe Budden get classified with Diddy?
He didn't get classified with Diddy. This is somewhat in reference to, we're talking about how Joe Budden handled this whole Diddy conversation. Weird. And I guess it's somewhat in reference to Joe Budden shouldn't be talking because you got your own case. You know what I'm saying? We know what you did. And I'm like, again, fair. But I think, man, people who've done messed up stuff should call out people who are evil or, who have shown a very deep pattern of doing messed up stuff to really mess up people. Also, what I was going to say earlier is when I was listening back to our podcast, I remember I said that I feel like there's a certain level of performative sort of posturing that happens in these kind of situations, because I listened to that Joe Budden podcast where they discussed Diddy, and it felt like it was so important for everyone to make sure that it's clear that I say that this is messed up and that, this man is evil, and like that. I feel like that should be a given. Do you know what I'm saying? It felt a little disingenuous. That's what it felt. And I kind of like that when we were speaking about it, like, okay, yeah, cool. We know that it's bad. That's a given. Let's talk about how we have related to the story as it's gotten up to here. What is going to happen next? What is the implication? I feel like speaking for an hour about, you got to understand that when you lay your hands on a woman, that's a messed up thing, man, and you're not right. I feel like that should be. I know it's not, and I know the world we live in is not. I feel like that it should, this is not a debate. This is not a hey, what do you think? Do you think it's bad to hit a woman? No, it's terrible. You shouldn't, period. And sometimes it feels like I wanted a record. I want to make sure that there's a clip of me saying that. Sometimes I get that feeling when I hear people talking about this kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, this was supposed to be just a quick update on the Diddy situation, that there's this 6-month investigation that came through from Rolling Stone. I will, you know what? I probably won't even read the whole thing. I'm going to read a summary of it. And then when we spoke about it last week, we also said there's probably nothing that's going to come out of this because of the statute of limitations and all of that. But apparently there is a federal grand jury that's going to hear this case. And that's why the government has been working so hard to put this case together. And if the grand jury rules that the case must go ahead, then maybe he will face consequences of a legal variety.
I've got that. Now I have many thoughts. Yeah, I know getting busted in a political year, in an election year.
Yeah, look. Sorry, man.
because there's a lot. Hey, woo. Ooh. Anyway, you reap what you sow, but woo. Once it's a grand jury level. But my one. Now you got people you don't want to be looking into your business. And your Diddy's son, that song, it's not good. Can you imagine like some white senator from Idaho reciting your lyrics and saying, Mr. Christian Combs, you said that we raided the wrong house. The contraband was actually next door. You can't elaborate on that.
Hi. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on, Philip. There's a story here about Master H performing in the UK.
Guys,
I'm gonna skip this.
There's nothing to discuss. Anyway, promoters. Stop it. Stop BSing. Stop. We're not stupid. Artists aren't stupid anymore. Stop trying your luck. Master H. But also, please, guys, make sure your contracts clearly state how big your party is. Make sure your tech rider states how clear your party is so that there's no loopholes. But promoters, we ain't dumb. Come on now. Stop that. And they live on the book. Yeah, we got visas for the band. What's the problem? The band has the visas. Why don't they come? The band is the visas. Guys.
It's like, no, we got a DJ here. It should be cool. Aye, guys. So I mean, that's a little bit of a silly story. Promoters should be booking the full team, and your artists should be insisting that you're traveling with the team that you need. I feel like the timeline. I mean, the news cycle on this Terrence Howard interview on Joe Rogan's podcast is past. Plus, I didn't listen to it, so
I got it. It's wild. I just found it funny because like a lot of people were commenting about. I think we discussed last week, actually. We were just commenting on how intelligent it is. I was like, yo, guys, promises were made in Uganda that have not been kept. That's all I'm saying. Deliver on your Ugandan promises first and foremost.
And I feel like we've already talked about this situation about reference tracks. I understand.
Which one?
When I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I actually don't really care that much. I get it. And I can explain it. I completely understand. What you said, Phil, makes sense. This was supposed to be his response, his diss track. This was supposed to be a demonstration of lyrical prowess. This was supposed to show us whether he can rap or he can't. Yeah, cool. But does the song sound good, though? That's how I see it. And I know people see it differently. I would argue that a lot of the younger generation also feel that way.
Let's read some copy here from our producer. In the movies and TV segment, with Atlas, Jennifer Lopez plus AI robots equals fuel for Netflix algorithm. Say what you want about Jennifer Lopez, but streaming algorithms surely love her, which accounts for her parade of recent movies, The Mother, Shotgun Wedding, and Marry Me, all in the last 2 years. And to that, Atlas, a non-stop sci-fi action movie that basically gets the job done with a plot that recalls Disney's Big Hero 6, just with a lot more cursing. Crims, what are we supposed to do with this? Like, this is a blurb. Did they pay us for this? Like, what the hell's going on here?
I mean, we haven't watched it.
I'm not watching it. I've seen the trailer. I'm not watching the movie.
Let's discuss. Yeah, same. Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. Okay, there is something very interesting I want to talk about here. So, without having the figures immediately in front of me,
I think it was 31. They did 31 million this Labor Day weekend,
which is, I mean, the budget for this movie was well over 100 million. So far, it's not gonna. It's a flop financially, but people are saying that it's a really good movie and that it's got really good actors and really good scenes and with a albeit crazy director. And people are like, some people are upset. And how I know about this movie is people were upset. Like, what's wrong with you? Can you please go watch this movie? Because it's worth it so that we get other stuff other than Marvel movies and, regurgitated IP.
But wait, what? Again, wait. Stop. Say your last sentence again.
People were saying
No,
People
the
saying
last
that
sentence.
go and watch this.
The last sentence specifically.
So that we get other stuff other than Marvel movies and regurgitated IP.
It's the fourth Mad Max movie. What are they talking about?
Fair, but it's like the fourth Mad Max movie in like decades. It's fine.
That's
We're not saying that we
regurgitated
don't want.
IP.
No. Okay. When I use that phrase, what I'm trying to say is we're not trying to say that we don't want sequels or we hate the idea of building a movie around IP that exists. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is it feels like right now, the only things that are available are just drivel that's regurgitated. So if you made a really good story about the Marvel universe, that's not necessarily the MCU, it wouldn't feel like regurgitated IP. It would feel like usage of IP in a space that's how people felt about the Amazing Spider-Man. Not the Amazing Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse animated movies. They're refreshing. It's like, cool, damn, nice. But I can also understand why people are like, yo, these Marvel movies are beginning to suck. Because I love the Marvel movies, but the last few ones we've talked about,
no, but that's that was just because of the timelines. Then anyway, yeah. No, actually,
yeah.
But I agree
So
with you. I'm sorry.
my point is, here's something different. Yes, it's IP that already exists and all that. But the point is, here's something a little bit different. Blockbuster. It's got the bushooms and the huge vistas and the let's go watch it. People are like, no, thanks. So I saw a lot of people with doom and gloom about this is it for movies. Either it's going to be the huge Disney project or it's going to be streaming on Netflix.
I think there's also a big, how do I put it? I notice it because anecdotally sometimes it gets forced into my feed, but whether it's on YouTube or on Reddit. But even like in the communities on Reddit, like the nerd communities, there's a very big red pill movement that's kind of seeping in to the point where even the CEO of Disney is regurgitating red pill talking points, where he's literally saying like Disney got too woke, and he's pushing back on it. So I think there's a big movement against any form of action movie that has a woman in the lead or anyone who's not white in the lead. And I think that's also the reason why the new Captain America movie has had so many reshoots, because Disney's having this crisis of figuring out how do we balance the fact that we've now got a black Captain America, but then we've also got to figure out how to balance the Israel-Palestine conflict and how that narrative fits into the story and all that. So there is a big push against movies with women as leads. So much like the WNBA, I would just encourage like anyone who, like, especially if you're a woman, if you enjoy action movies, go check it out. Like, it's not too late, you know. The movie can still be salvaged in some form or fashion, and that can help encourage other movies to be made. But there is a massive movement along these, for lack of a better term, incels, to not support movies with women in the lead.
So just to you just very briefly touched on it, but it's tragic and hilarious. So the next Captain America movie is titled A Brave New World. The casting has already been announced. It's supposed to be coming out. I think it's supposed to be coming out it was supposed to be coming out this year, I think. And then it was delayed and delayed and delayed. So anyway, what Phil was alluding to is, announced as part of the casting was that there was going to be a character, not a character rather, there was going to be the introduction of the Israeli superhero Sabra, which is going to be played by, I think, an Israeli actress. But obviously, Israel is currently in the middle of
a genocide,
the worst crimes in humanity. So
even after the ICC children stopped, they're killing people. And once again, I'm proud of us, Dan, because a year ago, we were like, yo, free Palestine.
So how are you going to put out a superhero movie where one of the heroes is an Israeli superhero who literally kills Palestinians? That's not quite work.
And I'm going to.
But then now that you've already announced it, I mean, who runs Hollywood, Phil?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not going to lie. I will not be watching that movie.
And we don't know yet what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you might find that maybe they completely cut her out. Or maybe they have
unless they figure out
a mature
unless
way
they figure
of
out a
dealing
way
with
for some starving Palestinian kid to come across vibranium or some radiation shock, and then they become a superhero and they beat the brakes of that Israeli. I ain't watching nothing.
So imagine Captain America and an Israeli super. No, whoa. Where are you taking this movie, yo? So yeah. Anyway, I wanted to mention that as well because I don't think we're gonna get that movie, man. I don't think that movie's gonna come out, and
I feel bad, man. I feel bad because this is like we're finally gonna get a black Captain America, and once again these damn Israelis.
Well, look, let's see what happens. Man. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Is there any music you've listened to, Philip, that you'd like to share with our listeners before we wrap it up?
Oh man, I'm always on that new stuff. But you know what, Dan? I'm gonna take a leap of faith. Let's do some blind listens today. First and foremost, let's trust our producer. You know, our producer often gives us music recommendations, which we ignore rudely. But I think let's put an end to that. So the first one he's put in is Delroy Shewe, sorry, Gampepe. Let's give it a listen.
Gumpepe, Philip, Gumpepe.
But why did they spell it like that? That's not how you.
Gumpepe.
That's not how you spell it. The game is not spelled like that.
How is it spelled?
It's one word. Gumpepe, Gumpepe.
As we say, kweje kunyura murudo shiserewe aininda perera kumpepe wakananga kupindi teve chevakashure kusheshero aininda perera kumpepe chu chekiseni kumpepe ya kumpepe chonanda perera kumpepe chu chekiseni kumpepe ya.
I ain't mad at that. What do you think?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you know, it's. I don't feel like it's a me kind of song, but it's kind of cool.
Next one we've got Melissa with Ita Jawana. What you giving that?
Yeah, again, it's not bad. Okay, I'm gonna drop this new Kyla Black. Kyla Black has got this song called "Someday," which he just dropped, and I mean, if you're feeling some Zim R&B vibes, especially that like new school R&B, I highly recommend you check out Kyla Black. She's dope. She's getting a bit of a vibe going about, a bit of a buzz going on. Check it out.
Someday, heartache might take all of my energy, but it's for right now, Monday to Monday. I'ma be delusional, baby. Like there's no tomorrow, like there ain't no time to borrow. Willing, get pain out of my system, get pain out of my system. What's left to say? My mind is made up through the day and through the night till I lose count of the minutes. No way you give it.
She's on an aggressive push of this song right now. Check it out on your DSP someday. Color Black. I kind of like her. I also really liked her last release. Do Not Disturb. Yeah. Then there's the new Saint Flow. Maybe we can end with that one.
All right, cool. I am mad at that.
I am mad at that.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Once again, don't forget to follow us on social medias, or please head on over to twobroketwimbos.com/donate. We'll be announcing our clothing line this week for our patrons, and then we'll have a general release for the riffraff, the freeloaders.
I don't know if clothing line is the right.
Okay, it's
like,
a high fashion.
Whoa.
We'll have a runway show even done. Okay,
clothing line. I mean, okay. All right, yeah, no, but shout out to you guys for tuning in.
And then we'll then finalize, and then we've got a lot of whiskey we need to consume.
Oh yes, by the way,
So
yes, yeah.
So we need to get on that. Thank you guys so much for listening. We love and appreciate you. And what else? What have I missed?
I think that's pretty much it. Let's just remind everyone to continue supporting us. Hey. We need your help. We need you to go on over to twobroketwimbos.com/donate.
Hold on. Dan, hold on. Stop. We got to do this right. Right, now go.
Brothers and sisters, take this as a call. It's a call coming from us, your favorite Two Broke Twimbos. And we are here on our knees. No, pull that zip back up. We are on our knees because we are begging you to show support for content creators who need your help. We want you to assist us. For just $5 a day, you can save a starving child in Africa. Inchimani money. $5 a month, not even a day, per month. twobroketwimbos.com/donate is the place you need to go right now. Go right now. Just open up twobroketwimbos.com/donate. You can sign up to be a Patreon member where a measly $5 will be deducted from your account every month. You'll barely notice it, but it will mean the world to us. We were just having a discussion about, what we need to do in terms of equipment and our plan. And we realized, we can't afford it. Well, kind of can't afford it. So we need you to help us make the content that is right for you. If you listen to this podcast and you come out of it feeling that, you know what, I can face the world, I can enter conversations and discussions and come in with a knowledgeable take, some input, or maybe it's just what you use to get past your Saturday mornings as you are handling the cleaning in your home. Or maybe you have awkward conversations with your wife in the car, so you would prefer to just put on a podcast and giggle to our takes while she looks at you judgmentally. If any of those things are true, or whatever situation you have, take this as an opportunity. I'm talking to you, Tendai, Tatenda, Tawanda, Farai, Chipo, Faith, Learnmore, Innocent. If you were mentioned in the podcast today, head on over to twobroketwimbos.com/donate. Sign up for just $5 a month, and we will bring you better and better content. That's my appeal to you.
Lovely, Dan. Lovely. That was beautiful. Speaking of, gotta spend a special shout out to one of our patrons. Paid for the annual plan. Shout out to our patron, Sean. Obviously, we don't want to put his business out there, but all I'll say is congrats to Sean and shout out to Maxine. I won't say much more than that.
Claudine.
But
Pauline.
That's also it was like, I get all the teens. I get the teens. He says it in a song. I'm getting the teens. Claudine. Oh my God. Yo. Like, these lyrics are gonna sound so bad in the court case. But anyway, shout out to y'all. Thanks for the support, and we wish you all the best. Shout out to Sean and Max. Big up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna sign out now. Check out the new sounds of Saint Flow. with his brand new song, Urukukwata Ere. And we'll catch you in the next episode. We out.
No limits.
Blessings to the man, select your name. Shimawana mangu shate. Dili mumba zinda tata ubate. Pana kundi terangandi bate. Musharu kwa urukwata. 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 Matindru kwata. Urukwata. Matindru kwata. Urukwata. Urushaute. Urijimoko here. Urupaute. Urimtausi. Dirimchakte. I'm just browsing. Dirushanda. Inside Tensika. Tizai Kutika. Doba Dutira. Dirimufutiwa. Doda Titsai. We are Mutiran. Shidam Matsuma. Shanira Unyusian. Dizzy and I can fly. Did it bump Tambo Jumbai. Dripping the foot of a car. Farida put in the side. Do time with its weather. Mazizondo da Simba. Kutamanda Kainan. Kutamanda Kainan. Zikamwe yazo ntari. Vanu ndeve clovers and party. Tesa to no down quality. I won't do one in my toy. Did it more than style. Did it cool, did it eye. Did it chew pasangare. Patch, are. Urupate. Matindru pate. Rukwate. Matindru pate. Rukwate. Matindru pate. Rukwate. Matindru pate. Nothing to show ain't me. The fam on my lip. The feet I'm trip. Mukutaru kira kundi one ram grass. Muri say. The kukwase. Muri paskero. So that cook fenekai. Ti wanna wait. Dila case to kuchaga kuwa pay. Wangundiri say. Tumayame 8. Giros in the pattern. Do not feel his ass and this is pete. That in the show a mess. Basa see a stress. Naga fara puri kungendini fan pes. Asins by dictionary. Dirimu continent muri dictionary. Dirimu koma when you muri ma jufnari. Muri ma jufnari. Kwate. Matindru kwate. Rukwate. Matindru kwate. Rukwate. Matindru kwate. Rukwate. Matindru